Tabs are often a source of consternation for designers, and I used to struggle with them myself. But they're really not a big deal, and InDesign makes them pretty easy. Let's have a look. You can see that I have the hidden characters showing, and you get to those via the Type menu all the way down here at the bottom. I'll press Command plus a couple of times to zoom into 150% and go up to the Type menu to Tabs. You can see how the Tab panel has snapped to the top of my text frame, and the tab ruler is the same width as the text frame. If I move my page, I can click this magnet icon to make the tab panel snap back to the text frame. If that's not working for you, make sure you can see the entire top of the text frame. Okay, so I already have tab stops in my text. That's where I've pressed the Tab key, and you can see the little double arrow hidden characters. But I want all of these page numbers to line up, and obviously they're not doing that. You might be tempted to just press the Tab key a few more times to try to line up the numbers, but that could cause you problems later if you change the size of the type or the size of the text frame. Remember the typographer's rule: don't type 2 hidden characters in a row. So I'm going to use the Tab panel to tell InDesign exactly where to place a tab. We want the numbers to be right aligned, so I'll click anywhere in this paragraph, choose the right justified tab, then simply click above the ruler here. You can see that my page number has now jumped over to the right, and if I drag this tab stop, you can see that this line is indicating exactly where the tab stop is. You can also enter a precise location here, and I'll make it an even 26 picas. I'll do the same with the line below it, and again, click above this rule, then drag it into place, or type in an exact position. The next few paragraphs contain 2 tab stops in the text, as you can see. Also notice that these lines are indented slightly from the left edge of the text frame. I use the left indent in the paragraph formatting. Don't use a tab at the beginning of a paragraph. First, I'll select the rest of the story using the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-N. That causes the text frame to jump up in my view, so I'll scroll back down a bit and click the magnet icon again to make the tab panel snap to the text frame. I want the names of the chapters to line up on their left edges, so I'll choose the left justified tab this time and click, and that looks good. I'll just make it an even 8 picas. Now to set the second tab in the line, I'll just click over here on the right. You can see the active tab is highlighted in blue, and it's a left justified tab. I can change that just by clicking on the right justified tab icon, and change its position to 26 picas to match the other 2 lines above. I'll close the tab panel with the shortcut Command-Shift-T, and that's looking pretty good. There's a lot of space between the words on the left and the page numbers on the right, so I want to add something to lead the eye over to the number. I'll select these 2 paragraphs, zoom in a bit, and open the tab panel again. Now I'll type a period in the leader field, which will place as many periods as necessary to fill up that space. I think that actually looks kind of busy, so I'll select the rest of the text, open the tab panel, and make sure the second tab is highlighted, then type a period and a space. And now it looks better. A leader can be any character or combination. So that's looking good, but what happens if you decrease the width of your text frame? All my page numbers have jumped down to the next line. I'll zoom in and open the tab panel, then place my cursor in this paragraph, and you can see that if I move the tab panel out, the tab stop is too far to the right for the width of the frame, so it has to go down to the next line. So what you can do is use a right align tab. You don't change that in the tab panel, rather you type Shift Tab instead of a plain tab, and you can see that the page numbers now extend to the right edge of the text frame. Notice the invisible character for the Shift tab is the same double arrows, but with a line through it. And now if I change the size of my text frame, the tabs move accordingly. Here I have this little menu. The text frame is filled with a dark green, and I've inset the text using the text frame options, as you recall from a previous lesson. The spacing is indicated by this thinner blue line. I'll scroll down a bit, and when I open the tabs panel using Command-Shift-Tab, it'll snap to the top of the text frame. You'll notice that the tab ruler is now aligned with the inset in the text frame. I also have some paragraph indenting on this text. This paragraph with the gold text is indented from the left by 1 p4, and the next paragraph with the italics is indented 2 picas. Those indents are indicated on the tab ruler, and you can watch them change when I move from one paragraph to the next. So if you like, you can click and drag the indent markers to manually indent the text. I'll undo that. Or you can drag just the top one to indent only the first line. It's a bit squirrely and can be hard to grab just one marker, so I prefer to use the control panel. Since this is a food menu, I want the prices to line up over on the right, and I want them to align on the decimal point so it looks nice and neat no matter what the price is. For that, I'm going to use a different kind of tab stop, the Align to Decimal tab. So I'll choose that tab. I'll make sure my cursor is in the right paragraph first, then click in the ruler to place it at, let's say, 24 picas. I'll do that same thing with the next menu item and the other two. You can also, of course, just type in the exact position, and what I could have done to make it faster and consistent is just select all of these paragraphs and set the tab stop for all of them at the same time. You see when I move the tab stop, the prices are lined up at their decimal points. It doesn't have to be a decimal point, you can use the $ or any other character. And if there's a worldwide shortage of peaky toe crab and the price goes up, it will stay aligned on the decimal point. I want to put a leader in here, so I'll type a space, then a period, and now I have some nice airy dots in between. You'll notice that the dots are a different color. Having the invisible character showing is handy in this case, because you can select the tab itself by double-clicking and change the color of the leader. I'll go up to the character formatting in the control panel and change those to white. In the next section, we'll get more into working with images. See you then.